Welcome to Taylor Treasure!
Hi everyone!
Hello and welcome back to the show. So, we did a show like today's, kind of similar in the same area. It was like a few months ago, and it was about the I Love Lucy show and things you didn't know about it. Yes, and we love old TV shows. We love old movies, but particularly we love old TV shows. They're just so great. And so we did I Love Lucy, and today we're talking about things you didn't know about the Mary Tyler Moore Show. Another great one.
Yes.
Another great one. So many good ones out there. We're going to cover some other ones in the future, but this is what we're doing today.
And did you know that today is National Mary Tyler Moore Day?
Is it the day we're filming? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. It's probably not when you're saying this, but today it is.
I actually made that up. There is no such thing. But
I fell for that.
You totally did. I thought you were going to be in on the joke.
I was actually...
But you did not pick up on that.
I was confused because I'm like, I wouldn't think you'd know that.
How did you... How would... Yeah. Nope. Sorry. I just made it up.
Well, okay. Well, you see how gullible I am.
Yep.
Well, I guess we can get started on some things that you might not have known about the show.
Yeah.
So, this show went from 1970 to 1977, and Mary Tyler Moore's character, Mary Richards, which was the main character of the show, was originally going to be a divorcee on the show. But CBS was afraid that viewers might think that Mary had divorced her on-screen husband, Rob Petrie, which she had previously starred in, which was in the Dick Van Dyke Show. That's what the Petries were in. Mm-hmm. So they thought, they're gonna think that she's divorced from him, and they loved that show and they loved that couple. We can't do that.
Right.
So
that would be bad.
Right. So they scrapped that and decided that she would be a engaged woman that broke it off because he was just kind of waiting around, and so she decided.
She's like, I'm not waiting.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. So that's what they changed it to. So I also wanted to say that last time I had a lot of like behind the scenes pictures of I Love Lucy, but honestly I looked and there's like none from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, which I would have loved to show you, like some on-set pictures, but really all I could find were pretty much press pictures and pictures of the actual actors, maybe some actual pictures of show episodes, but there's really not a whole lot of behind-the-scenes pictures, so not as much
somebody has them
visuals.
Somewhere, but we don't know that person.
Yeah, we don't have them, so sorry about that.
Yeah. So moving on, at first, Mary Tyler Moore producers did not want Valerie Harper to play Rhoda Morgenstern because they felt she was too pretty and not like frumpy and homely enough to play Mary's friend, and they thought she would draw attention away from Mary because that was supposed to be the main focus of the show. But they loved her performance, so they hired her anyway, and they actually dressed her in frumpy clothing to give her the look of a less attractive friend.
Right. To not have the spotlight on her.
Yeah,
so
which
much.
We actually noticed at the beginning.
We've always felt like
she's like
it's
really
not very flattering.
Yeah,
on
why
her,
is she wearing that?
Yeah,
it doesn't look nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But a couple of seasons in, the writers, they finally gave in. They rewrote her character as a beautiful woman who would self-criticize.
Right.
And an episode that really shows the change was one called Rhoda the Beautiful, where Rhoda loses like over 20 pounds and she wins the beauty contest.
Right.
So they really changed their minds on that.
Yeah. So the Mary Tyler Moore producers created the role of Ted Baxter with the actor Jack Cassidy in mind, but he turned it down because he had just played a very dumb character on the sitcom He and She, and he didn't want to keep, being typecast and stuff.
I don't want to be typecast as the dumb person.
Yeah. Right. So Ted Knight was given the role to play Ted, and Cassidy later came on the show to guest star as Ted's equally dumb brother. So he came on as the brother.
All right. Anyway, still happened. So it was not common for a TV show to not shoot a pilot episode as an audition in the 70s.
Yeah.
Filming an audition episode with a live audience before they filmed the real pilot would help them kind of know if it was good enough to film and put on the air for people to watch. So the decision to film the real first pilot of Mary Tyler Moore show was very surprising, considering that Mary Tyler Moore's fame was kind of actually fading, because her career after the Dick Van Dyke Show did not take off. She was only given her own show after she appeared in a spin-off 1-hour episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show called Dick Van Dyke and the Other Woman in 1969. So during the original taping of the pilot, the audience hated the character of Rhoda, who was played by Valerie Harper.
They did.
They thought she was too mean to Mary.
Yeah. Because in the opening scene, when Mary comes to her apartment, she just right off the bat is yelling at Mary because she
in the
wants
very
the apartment.
first scene. Like, it's the very first thing. And that affected how they viewed her for the entire rest of the episode.
Yeah, and like the whole episode.
Yeah, and pretty much no one laughed because they thought she was too mean. They also did not like Lou Grant, who's played by Ed Asner, because he was a little bit too mad in his first scene when
she's coming.
Mary came to interview for the job, and he also was like too mean about it. So because it went so badly, they had to retape the pilot.
Yeah.
And to make Rhoda a little more likable, they had Rhoda's and now actually Mary's landlord Phyllis say,
or Phyllis's daughter.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the landlady's daughter.
Yeah.
So Phyllis's landlady, her daughter, came and said like, Aunt Rhoda's really a lot of fun, and it seemed to work even though it was such a tiny little change. But they laughed at it more.
They thought, well, maybe she'll get more lovable.
Yeah, because the girl's name was Bess, and she actually seemed to like Rhoda, and that made the audience feel better. And then Ed Asner actually did much better, and he was a little less mad, and he had more of like a comedic air, so it went better.
Right. So Gavin McLeod, who played the lovable head writer Murray Slaughter, originally read for the part of Lou Grant. However, after his audition for the part of Lou, he asked to read for Murray when he thought he could more embody him than the gruff Lou Grant. And the MTM production soon saw that he fit much better with the character of Murray, so he got that part instead. And I couldn't see him as a gruff, mean
I think it
boss.
was good choice.
Yeah.
Originally, Ted Baxter was actually going to be Mary's love interest, and Lyle Waggoner was suggested for the part. That means if he had taken the part, he probably would have left the Carol Burnett show in 1970, which would have been 4 years earlier than he actually did, because he left the show for Wonder Woman in 1974.
Yeah.
But Ted Knight did so well on his audition for Baxter that he got the part instead. Mm-hmm. And at the time, Knight was actually struggling from paycheck to paycheck, so he put his all into this audition. It was all in. He even, his famous blue Anchorman jacket, he went to the local thrift store and he wore it at his audition. Because Knight was in his 40s and he was thought to be too old for the 30-year-old Mary Tyler Moore. They decided, or they considered making Lou Grant the love interest instead.
Yeah, because they thought Ted Baxter, played by Knight, it just wouldn't work as a love interest.
It would be too old, so it'd be a little strange. But Mary Tyler Moore disliked the idea of Lou Grant, so they decided against that as well.
Yeah, so they just ended up having boyfriends here and there as guests. Right. But I think that would be kind of cool though to have Lyle Waggoner on the show. I think he could have added.
To be honest, I don't know who that is. If I saw a picture, I probably would.
He's the really tall guy with the dark hair on the Carol Burnett show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he would have been interesting.
Yeah. So in the show's finale in 1977, the cast was the first cast in TV history to break the fourth wall, which was the wall of the audience, and to take a final bow to the cheers of the audience. And years later, many TV shows that were live, that doesn't really happen anymore, but when they did, they would do the same thing after the Mary Tyler Moore show. They would, at the end of their series, they would, bow to the audience, which they didn't really do. They never really acknowledged the fourth wall before that.
For the first few seasons of Mary Tyler Moore, Gavin McLeod, who's Murray, and Cloris Leachman, who was Phyllis, actually did not particularly like each other in real life. And they didn't really want to be around each other on the set, apparently.
It wasn't like the Fred and Ethel hate relationship,
but they just didn't really like each other.
Yeah.
They'd worked together once before, Mary Tyler Moore, on an episode of ABC's series The Big Valley, and they had a very bad experience working together. They never really said why it was so bad, though, so nobody knows.
Yeah.
But Cloris was really uncomfortable with Gavin for the first couple of seasons, but eventually they actually did become friends.
They did,
which is good.
So apparently, during season 3 of Mary Tyler Moore, Ted Knight walked into a Mary Tyler Moore producer's office, and he was just wailing, and he's saying, "I can't do it, I can't play Ted Baxter anymore," because he said, "Everyone thinks I'm stupid and I'm not. And after a pep talk, however, he did decide not to quit the show and was given certain episodes where Ted Baxter appears to be less dim-witted, which I've noticed how they have a little bit deeper after that. But even after that, he still always struggled with the fact that all the fans thought he was just this really dumb person. And really, in real life, he was very intelligent and very different from Ted Baxter. But yeah, I guess he did not like that.
Yeah, it would be rough.
Yeah.
So this is fun. At the end of the opening credits of Mary Tyler Moore, Mary throws her famous hat into the air.
Yep.
So actually, no one else in the shot knew that people were filming because the crew was using hidden cameras. And so in the shot, there's accidentally an older woman in the distance looking at Mary, confused as to why there's a woman throwing her hat into the sky. She's like this older, but she's just like very confused in the shot.
Always noticed it.
Yes, and her name is actually Hazel Frederick.
Or was. I don't think she's alive anymore.
Probably was.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
If she was old at that time. She was a Minnesota local who was shopping when the scene was recorded. And years later, when Hazel attended one of Mary Tyler Moore's book tour events, Mary actually brought her up on stage and addressed Hazel as like her co-host.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of
cool?
sweet.
Like she didn't even know she had a connection.
Yeah, and I wonder like how long it. I wonder it'd be funny if like one of her friends, "Are you on the Mary Tyler Moore show?"
Yeah,
like at the
is
beginning.
that you, Hazel, on the TV?
Yeah, yeah. I wonder though. I wonder how long it took her to know that she was on that show. So, Ed Asner once said in an interview that he always kind of avoided comedy before Mary Tyler Moore, because he found on stage when he got a laugh, he couldn't really remember how he had did it, so he couldn't recapture it the next time. So when he went in to read for Lou Grant, the director of Mary Tyler Moore, Jim Brooks, said, "That's an intelligent reading." And Ed took that as, that wasn't very funny.
Yeah.
So he read it again, all wild and wacky and crazy. And to his surprise, they laughed to him and they said, "Do it just like that when you come back to read with Mary." And he thought to himself, what did I do?
He's like, oh no.
Yeah. What? Oh man. But he did come back again to read with Mary, and they laughed again. And a couple of years later, he found out that when he left the reading with Mary, Mary looked to the directors and producers and said, "Are you sure?" But they soon learned that, or she soon learned why they said that they were sure, because he was perfect for the role.
He was. He
Yeah.
was great. So our last little tidbit here is based on her initials, Mary Tyler Moore launched MTM, which is her own production company, to make the show. And as the name was similar to Hollywood's entertainment company MGM, a plan was made to like play on the famous roaring lion logo. So MTM chose a cute little orange kitten that actually was from a local animal shelter named Mimsy to mimic MGM's lion roar. So though Moore and her husband Grant Tinker named Mimsy, one of the staff members of the Mary Tyler Moore Show ended up adopting Mimsy, and she lived a whole 19 years, from 1968 to 1988. So good for Mimsy.
So that's what we have today for the Mary Tyler Moore Show. It's just an awesome show. We love to watch it. Comment down below on other shows you'd like us to do. We already have a few lined up that we're going to do in the future. But just let us know what you want us to do, and also what your favorite Mary Tyler Moore moment or episode is. We'd love to hear that in the comments below. And now it is time for the news.
Well, this is it. This is the end. This is the end of all things. There's only bad news today, and I'm not sure that we can go on. The local Krispy Kremes, who supplies us our donuts, has closed. I have no other news for you. This is devastating. I think all schools should shut down. Everyone should have some time off work for grieving. I can't. There's something wrong today. I'm sorry to bring you this earth-shattering news. I hope you're okay out there.
I'll be okay. I'm sorry, folks. I'll get through it. It's just so much to take in. All right. Thank you. Well, Today I was told that I would be doing an impression of someone, so I will be doing it and telling you the news.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We have just learned that the local Cream of Crisp is not closing permanently, but is under renovations due to a local production company overrunning them with orders. They're going to be adding an express lane just for this production company, because they are just adding so many orders, they can't do it. So it'll be opening shortly. Thank you very much for coming down. I appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll see you later.
I wish we had a hat in here, so we could, like, throw it.
Krispy Kreme's closed or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
The Krispy Kreme's downstairs.
We didn't get our daily dose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We just found out that, so, the Krispy Kreme's...
Oh, yeah, like, it's this big announcement. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
it's over.
Krispy
You might as well just forget about
Or in a
anything
lobby or
ever
something.
again.
And now it is time for the Taylor Treasure Box.
Let's open it up.
Okay. I was trying to think of a Mary Tyler Moore thing to do with it, but I couldn't, so I didn't.
They don't have a Taylor Treasure Box on Mary
No,
Tyler
they
Moore.
don't. Just trying to think of a
Tell
jingle.
a random fact about yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I also had that. Tell a random fact about yourself.
Okay. Random fact about myself. I enjoy bananas, but I do not enjoy banana flavoring.
Interesting. I have to agree. Yeah.
Yes,
Bananas are good, but
I don't. If it's a banana flavor, I'm not gonna go for it. But a
Yeah.
real banana, I'm all in.
I've heard that banana peanut butter sandwiches are good. I've never tried it, but our brother likes it, and it just seems strange.
I remember seeing it we had a book when I was little about Bert and Ernie, and they were supposed to meet and have lunch at a statue in the park, but they both thought it was a different statue, and so the whole book they're like thinking the other person's not coming, and they both
What does this
made...
have to do?
Well,
Oh, okay.
You're
getting there?
I'm getting
Okay.
there. They both made peanut butter and banana sandwiches, and that's like, I don't know why that stands out to me, but that's what I
Okay.
remember every time somebody says that.
All right, I have my random fact. My least favorite color is pink.
Pink.
Yeah.
All right,
I
did
don't
not know
hate
that.
any color, but I'd be the last one to choose for anything for me. Not a big pink person.
Okay.
Yeah. Favorite color is blue. That's like a bluish turquoise. A bright bluish
Yeah, like a
turquoise.
brighter, yeah.
Well, we hope you have enjoyed this episode. Again, comment down below about shows you like. You can also give this video a like and a comment, and you can subscribe. And after you subscribe, make sure to press the bell so you get all of our videos in your notifications box, because subscription doesn't really mean anything if you don't press the bell, because you won't get the videos.
Right.
So make sure to do that. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook, which is @TaylorTreasuresOfficial. And we'll see you next time. Bye! Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode. If you like to subscribe
Please do
down here, you
subscribe
can
to
subscribe
us. And if you want to watch another video, you can press over here.
right here. And you can also check out our channel. We got all sorts of fun videos there. And make sure to check us out next Thursday if you don't feel like subscribing.
Come back.
Yes,
Please.
come back. And in a 1, a 2, a 3.